Negative thinking feeds on comfort. It wants safety. It says, stay where you are, don't risk it. But comfort is a slow poison. It keeps you alive, but not truly living. Jack Ma once told young people, when you are young, work for experience, not for money. He meant that growth happens outside your comfort zone. Every time you try something new, something that scares you, you kill a small piece of your doubt. So if you want to kill negative thinking, step into discomfort. Talk to people who challenge you. Do things that stretch you. Learn skills that scare you. Because on the other side of discomfort lives freedom. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Imagine your mind as the sky and thoughts as passing clouds. Some days, the sky is stormy. But no matter how dark the clouds, the sky is still there, wide, clear, infinite. That's who you are. You are the sky. Your negative thoughts are just weather passing through. Don't fight the storm. Watch it. Learn from it. And wait for the sun. It always comes back. Because, as Jack Ma says, you should learn from your competitor, but never copy. Copy and you die. That's not just about business. It's about individuality. Stop comparing your journey with others. Comparison is the root of negative thinking. You're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be, learning what you need to learn right now. And when you finally stop racing others, you start racing yourself. That's when true progress begins. So breathe. Slow down. Forgive yourself for the things you didn't know before you learned them. Forgive yourself for the failures that shaped you. Forgive yourself for the times you gave up, because now you're choosing to rise. And that is where transformation begins.
When you decide to kill negative thinking, you are not fighting an enemy outside you. You're facing the oldest part of yourself, the one that's afraid to hope. Fear is not evil. It was built to protect you. It's the same instinct that kept early humans alive, the voice that said, "Be careful, that noise in the dark could be danger." But in our modern world, that voice never learned to evolve. It still warns us, not about lions or storms, but about failure, embarrassment, and loss. That's why so many people never take their first step. Their fear disguises itself as logic. It says, be realistic. It says, you're not ready. But the truth is, you'll never be ready until you start. Jack Ma once said, the very important thing you should have is patience. He knew that success is not born from speed, it's born from endurance. Negative thinking hates rating. It wants immediate results. But the universe rewards patience, not panic. When you feel overwhelmed, when the mountain looks too high, remember, every great climb begins with one small step, and one small thought can change an entire life. It begins with a simple sentence, what if I tried again? Jack Ma didn't build Alibaba overnight. For years, he faced rejection, failure, ridicule, but he kept asking better questions. Not why me, but what now? Not why is it so hard, but what can I learn from this? That's how you kill negative thinking, by replacing bad questions with good ones. Because your brain is a search engine. If you type in, why am I such a failure? It will find you 100 answers. But if you ask, what can I do to grow from this? It will show you possibilities. Ask better. Think better. Live better. There's a story Jack Ma once told about visiting America in the 1990s. He saw the early internet there for the first time. He typed the word beer into a search engine. There were American beers, German beers, Japanese beers, but no Chinese beers. That's when he realized China was invisible online. That moment could have been discouraging. He could have said, we're too far behind. But instead, he said, "That's an opportunity." Where most people saw absence, he saw potential. That's the heart of a positive thinker. They don't deny reality, but they see beyond it. They don't close their eyes to the darkness. They light a candle. Negative thinkers see a wall. Positive thinkers see a door, even if it's locked, and they keep knocking until someone opens it. You see, negative thinking thrives in stillness. When you sit too long, when you wait too long, when you think too long, it grows. Action kills it. Even a small action, even one phone call, one email, one workout on paper, each one is a strike against fear. Jack Ma said, "You should learn from failure, but don't let it stop you. If you are still alive, you have a chance." And that's the truth. As long as you're breathing, you have a chance to change. You might not be able to control everything around you, but you can control one thing: your response. Every time you respond with courage instead of fear, you train your mind to think differently.
It's not magic, it's practice. Negative thinking isn't cured overnight. It's like an old habit, one that's been living in your head for years. You can't throw it out in a day, but you can starve it. Every day you feed your mind with something positive, a book, a video, a small act of kindness. You starve your negativity a little more. Jack Ma read stories of great entrepreneurs, dreamers, and innovators. He learned from them, but never tried to be them. He built his own version of success. That's what he meant when he said, "We are never short of money. We lack people with dreams who can die for those dreams." The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your originality, your idea, your perspective, your story. You are the only version of you that will ever exist. So why waste that gift, repeating someone else's fear? One of the most dangerous forms of negative thinking is comparison. We scroll through other people's lives, we see their success, their smiles, their highlights, and we forget that behind every highlight is struggle, just like ours. Comparison is the thief of peace. It tells you you're behind, when in truth, you're on your own path. Jack Ma was 35 when he founded Alibaba. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he started KFC. Ray Kroc was over 50 when he built McDonald's. There is no too late. There is only not yet. Negative thinking says it's over. Positive thinking says it's just beginning. When people laugh at your dreams, let them. When they doubt you, let them. When they say you can't, don't argue. Show them quietly through your results, because silence and success speak louder than any reply. Jack Ma once said, "If people laugh at you, that means you're doing something unique. So if you're being laughed at today, congratulations, you're on the right path." You see, every visionary was mocked before they were celebrated. Every believer was doubted before they were followed. And every dream looks impossible until it's done. So, how do you truly kill negative thinking? Here's the truth. You don't kill it with anger or force. You kill it with understanding. You kill it with consistency. You kill it by proving it wrong again and again. When your mind says, "You can't," you whisper back, "Watch me." When your mind says, "You're not ready," you answer, "I'll start anyway." When your mind says, "It's too hard," you tell it, "So what?" And one day that voice grows quiet, not because it disappeared, but because you stopped believing it. Negative thinking feeds on identity. It says, "This is just who I am," but that's a lie. You are not fixed. You are fluid, always learning, always growing. Jack Ma said, "Before you're 30, follow someone. Go to a small company, learn passion,
learn to dream. He understood that growth is about becoming, not being. So stop saying, I'm just a negative person. You are not negative. You are human, and humans can change. In the end, killing negative thinking isn't about living in blind optimism. It's about realism with hope. It's about accepting that life will hurt, that people will doubt you, that failure will visit often, but choosing to rise anyway. Jack Ma once stood on a stage and said, "We keep fighting, we keep believing, and someday we will prove the world wrong." And he did. That not because he had all the answers, because he never stopped asking questions. The truth is, every human being has two wolves inside them. One is fear, the other is faith. Whichever one you feed wins. Feed faith. Feed gratitude. Feed courage. And one day, you'll look back and realize the voice that once told you you can't is gone. And in its place, a quieter, stronger voice will whisper, "You already did." You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your thoughts. You are the space between them, vast, eternal, and full of possibility. So when the world tells you no, when life knocks you down, when fear stands tall before you, smile and remember, even Jack Ma, the man who changed the future of business, was once just a teacher with a dream. He had no money, no power, no connections, only one thing, an unshakable belief that the future belongs to those who never stop believing. So, believe. Stand tall. Take the next step. Because the day you stop feeding your doubts and start feeding your dreams, that's the day you kill negative thinking. And that's the day you come alive.
There's a voice inside your head. You know the one I'm talking about. The one that whispers, "You can't." The one that shows up right before you try something new. It says, "What if you fail?" It laughs when you dream. And sometimes it sounds so much like your own voice that you start believing it. Negative thinking isn't born in a day. It grows little by little. Every rejection, every embarrassment, every small failure, it plants a seed. And over time, that seed grows into a forest of self-doubt. But here's what Jack Ma once said: "If you don't give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure." Those words didn't come from a man who had everything handed to him. They came from a man who faced the kind of rejection that could break anyone's spirit. Jack Ma failed his college entrance exam, not once, not twice, but 3 times. He applied to dozens of jobs. Even KFC rejected him. He applied to Harvard 10 times and got rejected 10 times. Most people would have stopped trying. Most people would have said, maybe it's not for me. But Jack Ma didn't let those rejections write the story of his life. He said, "I'm not smart, but I work hard. And when I see an opportunity, I go for it." You see, negative thinking begins when we start confusing events with identity. When we fail at something, we start to believe we are failures. But that's not truth. That's a distortion, a trick of the mind. The truth is, failure is data. It's feedback. It's information telling you what didn't work, not who you are. Jack Ma once said that he learned more from the mistakes of others than from his own successes. Because in every mistake, there's a map, a clue, a lesson waiting to be discovered. But our minds resist this idea. We are programmed from childhood to fear being wrong. We were punished for mistakes. We were laughed at when we stumbled. So as adults, we build walls, invisible walls made of negative thoughts, walls that protect us from disappointment, but also trap us from greatness. When you think of killing negative thinking, don't imagine violence. Imagine transformation. You don't destroy the mind, you rewire it. You don't fight the darkness, you turn on the light. The light comes from awareness. It begins the moment you notice your thoughts and say, "That's not me, that's just my fear talking." Every time you become aware of your own negativity, you take away a piece of its power. Jack Ma once said, "Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine." That's not optimism. That's awareness, a clear understanding that the human mind exaggerates pain and forgets that time heals. Negative thinking is impatient. It wants results now. It says, if it doesn't work today, it never will. But life doesn't follow that logic. Life moves in seasons, and some seasons are meant for learning, not winning. If you plant a seed today, you don't get fruit tomorrow. You water it, nurture it, and trust that growth is happening underground, unseen, but alive. Jack Ma started Alibaba with a group of 18 friends in a small apartment. They didn't have funding. They didn't have fancy offices. They had a dream to connect Chinese businesses to the world through the internet. And everyone laughed. People said, "The internet? In China? Impossible." But they kept going because Jack Ma believes something powerful. If you believe it's possible, there's always a chance. That's the difference between negative and positive thinkers. Negative thinkers need proof before they believe. Positive thinkers believe before there's proof. That belief creates momentum, and momentum creates results. When was the last time you truly believed in yourself? Not just said it out loud, but felt it in your bones. For most people, that feeling fades with age. The child who once dreamed of flying becomes the adult who's afraid to fall. But the truth is, you never lost that power. You just stopped using it. Your brain is like a muscle. Feed it fear, it grows weaker. Feed it courage, it grows stronger. Jack Ma fed his mind with curiosity. He was never the smartest in the room, but he was always the most curious. He once said, "Never give up. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is more difficult, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful." He wasn't talking about business. He was talking about life, about the human spirit's ability to rise after every fall.